I mean, I've always said, like, I'm not a very creative person, but I feel like I'm creative on the basketball floor. It's about the only time you see it. In other parts of my life, like, I'm not very creative. So, I don't know, like, I like to have fun. Like, I don't know, make exciting plays. I think at times, like, I'm definitely a high risk, high reward person for sure. And, I don't know, I mean, it's not something like you're planning out as you're dribbling up the court. It kind of just happens naturally. As it's flowing, like, you know, you're trying to use your eyes to mess up the defender and what they're thinking too. So
you better brace yourselves for this, because what we're about to plunge into will shake the WNBA like never before. WNBA icon Sheryl Swoops has just been sacked because she has said some outrageous things concerning Caitlin Clark, and believe me, Wagner all joins later. Fans are responding to Rachel DeMita's emotionally charged words. And the dispute is only getting worse. So what went down for real, and how does this bout for the development of women's basketball stay where you are? For the floodgates of information and support of everything said and this paragraph are about to open. Sports fans, over the past few weeks we've been preparing a huge story that has made waves and WNBA community. Sheryl Swoops, known for her impact on women's basketball, has recently been dismissed from her position for stating the opinions regarding Caitlin Clark. What makes it even bigger, you might want to ask? Rachel Meyer, a prominent name associated with sports media, has taken cudgels against Clark in the most dramatic manner possible, which has only further fueled the already here debate. You may be wondering as to why this is such a big deal. Let's explain it in piece. Sheryl Swoops is a WNBA legend, a Hall of Famer, and a person who helped develop women basketball into what it is today. But right when things seem to have stabilized for the star Swoop, that made some remarks regarding Caitlin Clark, who is also one of the players to watch out for. We're in the league that got her into trouble, forcing her to resign and igniting a controversy that has overshadowed the social media and the sports world in general. Rachel Dura, who is very straightforward with her opinions, was not quite right on Swoops, accusing her of being envious and holding grudges over Clark as she climbed the career ladder. The sex fight between the old women basketball and the younger ones has reached the boiling point, and this particular case has unleashed even more. More will be featured on this and what this means for the WNBA, together with how Caitlin Clark is masterfully weathering through the storm in the league, setting record after record. Will reach you. Sheryl Swoops shocked with her harsh criticism of Caitlin Clark, questioning her legitimacy and the breakthroughs during Clark's rookie season. Although Swoops is known for her combative nature, this time her fans thought she had crossed the line. Indeed, Swoops has had some bad things to say about prospective young players in the past, but her thoughts about Clark appeared to personally. Swoops remarked in one of the interviews that one may be wowed by the numbers that Clark brings to the table, but they do now that place or in the bracket of the legends of women's basketball just yet. Ocular hardly blame that spans or players for this service or ration, who cannot help but regard this as a feeble effort to whitewash the astonishing impact that Clark has made on the WNBA. This was nothing new to the world of sports, and Swoops, his dismissal from office following these remarks, created shockwaves all over the sporting industry. This instance is a representation of the ongoing contest, a struggle of old teammates versus novel young players in their respective places within the league. Swoops, was it simply a matter of Megan Swoops, his legacy protection, or is it one of those instances where the old guard cannot come to with the fact that the young lady Caitlin Clark is now at the forefront of the game? The former and be a 2K host and sports media personality didn't hesitate to engage the said feature, and when she did, she made them hot. In one of her angry posts on social media, the media decided to come out and criticize Sheryl Swoops with allegations that she is hindering the development of the next generation of players, with Clark being the focus. This is not even about basketball, DeMita stated. This is about wanting to be seen and not silenced by those who hate progress in the people making it. DeMita's assistance of Clark has only added fuel to the growing fire of the discussion. Many of the fans are starting to support Clark, saying that she is the face of the WNBA in the making. While so, I have said that Swoops is entitled to express her views basing on the fact she's a veteran in the game, but DeMita's take home was extremely simple. As a league, we cannot continue going forward if everyone is attacking the very people who are bringing about change and development of the game. Her sentiment struck a chord, and younger fans who are weary of the past players constantly putting down new boys. This speaks to a wider underlying tension concerning the generational divide in women's basketball, where the old school is sometimes hesitant to relinquish the reins to the new guard. Nevertheless, DeMita, like Clark, is also the new wave of revitalization in the sport. And what about Caitlin Clark? What kind of circumstances has she been going through? And how has she been able to cope with the adversity? Quite frankly, she remains unassailable, if any. Perhaps all game is the best response to address all. A game response which she did not bother to make public. In relation to Swoops, says hostility only. She has carried on playing well. Just the other day, she reset WNBA records for the largest number of assists in one show. Championship season, a sign which even the most fastidious critics could not overlook. Clark's performance under the spotlight and calamity that surrounds her speaks of a mature and professional rookie that is seldom encountered. This concentration, in addition to the glorious figures, is attributed to so many supporting her fans are demanding her be the next phase of WNBA role. Quick pace. Clark seems likely to fit in rather well. The Clark effect in the game cannot just be quantified in numbers, but has changed the very landscape of the league. For example, in recent without rules, without holding back WNBA games where Clark participated, there was a marked increase in viewership, while the Indiana Fever's ticket revenue growth is now at a record high. Enough. Other words, issues of record distress or not what Clark is focused on. She is instead taking the lead and rejuvenating the league and expanding its market nice, which is beneficial in ways that women's basketball has always been able. As for the Newsburgers, their enjoyment was short-lived in that social media platforms were soon full of these controversies as the DeMita spy. Housed on social media, fans began to take sides, and some hashtags such as #Team Clark and Swoops Out began trending. Clark, in particular when it comes to younger fans, is viewed as one such inflow because this generation wants to see her as the face of the WNBA in the years to come. On the other hand, some of the older fans are siding with Swoops and insisting that her criticism was justifiable and that Clark has a long way to go. Debates on sports issues have migrated to platforms such as Twitter and Instagram, with sports media figures adding to the discussions. Others are asking for a more detailed conversation on the conservatives who nurture or oppose the upcoming generation. In any event, this drama has only intensified the buzz surrounding Caitlin Clark's growing brand as news of her name still dominates. This outpouring of attention on social media also brings out the relevance of storytelling and sport today. One can either take Swoops' his side or Clark's, but either way there is no escaping the fact that in this day and age the narrative which accompanies an athlete is equally as by title, if not more than their actual skills, and as things stand this narrative is pretty much seated in favor of Clark. Is it just me, or does this WNBA incident feel strangely iconic? I mean, is there not a concern for the change in women's basketball with Sheryl Swoops his sacking and Rachel DeMita coming to Caitlin Clark's defense? And it's not self-defense solely on the basketball court, which is old, except no, even the media's catching up, and new much-awaited discussions on how to nurture the next generation of rising stars like Caitlin Clark are finally happening. It is clear that even as Clark keeps setting records and breaking imaginations in the WNBA, her impact is only beginning. Looking at how much support she has been getting from the fans, from the players, and even from media people like DeMita, one could say that the cause for which Clark has been championing will go on. How do you feel about this? In your opinion, did Sheryl Swoops go over the line with her remarks, or did she have some valid points? Is Caitlin Clark all right to be hailed as one of the next star